Yo, what up? It's your boy Mark Roy, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Side Hustle, the official podcast where we just talk about everything that's a side hustle. But you got to make sure you're doing the hustling on the side instead of getting hustled on the side. And I'm here to help you not get hustled, because I've been hustled plenty of times and I know how it feels, and I know that we just get tired of like that grind. But let me tell you this. Today's episode is about knowing your worth, knowing your value, so that you don't end up feeling hustled in your industry. You don't end up feeling hustled in your 9 to 5. You don't end up feeling hustled in your day-to-day stuff, because feeling like that and feeling like a mess and just feeling not worth it, it sucks. It does suck. So we're going to talk about knowing your worth today. What does that mean? When you place a value on yourself, that value is like the regard that something is deserved, desirable, right? If you feel like you're not valuable, you don't feel like you have anything to bring to the table. So prime example is I have a student currently in my photo video class that in all, it's not even about a class that you learn, how to take really great photos and really great videos, although it is like it's that class, but there's a lot more that goes deeper into the rabbit hole. I'm trying to teach these kids how to be confident and how to use their voice and how to just be overall better, or feel better mentally. And so I have one student who is very, very creative. She is, her mind just works on a different level, but she feels like she doesn't have a voice. And I put her in a role where she had to speak up and she had to, step up to the plate. And sometimes when you throw kids into the fire nowadays, we want to hold their hand while they fail. And sometimes you have to let them fail. You could pick them up afterwards, but they have to go through that. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they will step up to the plate right then and there. Other times it's going to take them a while. But again, instead of holding their hand while they're doing it, let them do it and then hold their hand while you guide them later. But while they're going through it, you gotta just let them go, right? I'm trying to add to her value that she sees in herself and not just place a value on her, right? I'm trying to add to her value to make her know that she is valuable. I didn't do anything. All I did was give her the road. She took that road and she went on. So when we think about knowing our worth, and let's just talk about my industry for a little bit. I'm in videography, right? A lot of what I do is business promotional stuff. A lot of what I film are weddings. I do a lot of senior photography, family photography, portraits. So anything that has to do with a camera, I do. Now, back in 2018, when I first started it and made it an actual business, I hardly knew what I was doing. So the value that I placed on myself was very, very little. I had to start doing things, just shooting things and editing things just to understand this whole world. Now, fast forward, is 2022. There's a lot of value that happened between 2018 and 2022. And let me just say that it's exciting when you learn new things and then you implement it, and then that dollar price goes up. Because what? Because now you have a lot of value to bring to your clientele. Here's the downfall. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes your clientele doesn't see that value. And it's not based upon your talent. It's based upon how they look at themselves or how they look at the service that you offer. So in my industry, we get nickeled and dimed every single place. Like, people want us to do it for pennies on the dollar. And there's a lot of things. I can't just slap a song onto a bunch of things that I take. Like, people think it's that easy to do what I do. And I want to say that if it were that easy, they would probably just do it themselves, right? You have to understand your worth. You have to understand your value, because if you don't, people will try to take advantage of you, and then you're overworking yourself literally for nothing, for minimum wage. But your talent says otherwise. It says, I'm not a minimum wage worker. There's a talent. I have something to offer you of value. Look at me that way. And so when you take a chance on yourself, people will take a chance on you. In 2018, I did a lot of jobs for free. There's no compensation, because I was trying to build a portfolio at that time. And so when I looked at it, I was saying, okay, even if it's free, I'm gaining a lot of knowledge in this industry that I have no understanding about just yet. And I don't know how good I can be. But here it is. This is me, where I'm trying to figure things out. This is basically on the job training. I just, instead of getting paid for it, I'm getting exposed to these different areas. Now, it's a different thing than being asked to do it for exposure versus me asking, hey, can I come in, film something for your business? If you don't like it, you don't got to use it, but it will give me great understanding of how I can improve later with my storytelling, with my edit, with my shot list, with, my customer service skills, just everything. And shout out to those businesses that took a chance on me, because here I am 4 years later, just killing it. And I want to just say, it took those 4 years to understand a lot about my industry. Customer service related, I give that all to Starbucks, working at Starbucks and working at Dance, to just kind of understand how to be in front of people. But in this video industry, early on, it was a lot of those people that took a chance on me to say, hey, I need this, and this. Can you do this, this for me? And again, granted, if I've done it for free, or if I did it for, minimal pay, I learned a lot from that. Now, fast forward to 2022. I'm now not the cheapest on the market, I'll tell you that much. But here's the thing. There's so much value in what we do as videographers. And I don't think a lot of people understand or even see that. Let's just take the real estate game, for instance. If someone, and let me just say, the real estate game is a tough market. But I feel like houses don't last that long on the market anyway. And it's all about how you market yourself. And I have a bunch of friends in the real estate industry. My brother's a real estate agent. Shout out James Roy. But it's a tough market. And have I thought about getting into that? Yeah. Because why? Because real estate is not only just knowledge, it's all customer service. It's everything that I've been doing for ever. It's all on who you know, how many people trust you, like all of that. Could I be a great real estate agent? Yes, I could. I believe so. But here's where I've learned a lot about the industry. One, it's all on how you market yourself as an agent or a brokerage or whatever, right? It's all about marketing. Your customer service that's where it's at. So back in 2018, when I started and doing real estate videos, I was like, oh, I want to do a lot like I fell in love with like MTV Crib style stuff, right? I would be in front of the camera just showing this house, like this $1 million mansion, and going into it and being like, just dream a little bit, right? Getting people to understand and dream a little bit, other than just the house tours of flying my gimbal in through the houses and doing all of that. Now, with that comes a different type of mindset. It's a different type of mentality. That type of marketing, there's so much more that goes into that. Now, do I want to fly in through a house, maybe put the drone up in the air and fly with my gimbal in and out of rooms? Sure, I could do that. But the editing, when I take it home and I have other projects that I'm working on at the same time, people don't understand that I don't just drop everything just to work on that one thing, you know, and then I need to have it for them ready like the next day, right? It doesn't work like that. Just like any other business, you know, you make an appointment, you know, what is that triangle thing? Fast, cheap, and quality, right? You can't have all three at the same time. If you want it fast and you want it high quality, it's not going to be cheap. You have to understand that as a business professional. If you want it cheap and have it quality, the turnaround is not going to be fast. It's going to take some time. If you want it, you know, fast and cheap, you better believe that the quality is not going to be up to your standards. It's just not. Now, if we want it to be fast, quality, you know, and cheap, we live in a world that I don't know that exists. I don't know if that exists. Because the quality of what you're getting into, you're not just paying for materials. When we purchase Nike shoes or Jordan shoes, we never haggle on the price. Why? Because they've already set the value. A pair of Jordans, like I have a pair of Jordans that are on my wall currently. These Jordans that I've wanted for the longest time, and I finally got them, right? My favorite Jordans, the Jordan 13s. It's wolf gray and navy blue, and I spent $190 on them because back then I couldn't afford those shoes. But then when I, you know, finally got them, I was like, man, it makes me feel so good to be this successful, to be able to afford that pair of shoes. And honestly, that's the most I've ever spent on a shoe, and I only have like, that's just basically the one pair that I have that costs that much. All my other shoes are just like my daily wearers. I'm a budget guy. So seeing success in a different lens, especially as a business owner, you have to understand that your worth is much more valuable to you than other people, and that's totally fine. But it should reflect in your work how much you set your price at, what that standard is, especially in your area. But getting back to this, real estate is such a what am I trying to say? It's such a flimsy market, but housing price has gone up, inflation has gone up, and so with everything, if I'm, you know, filming $1 million house, let's just do the math right now, really quick. And this is, I like to get down to it. Let's just say it's $1 million house, $1 million, right? And we're going to times that at the lowest 2.5%. If I sell a house, I get 2.5% out of this whole transaction. I make $25,000. Great, $25,000. Now, in my industry, to film a house that costs $1 million, you're looking at around an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe upwards around there, of just filming. Because why? Because $1 million houses have space. They have amenities that regular houses don't. You want to showcase that in that type of, you know, environment. You want everything in that video so that people are not just walking through, they're dreaming while they're watching this video, right? And for me, I don't just throw some music on a bunch of, you know, shots. I'm editing. I can't even talk. I'm adding sounds outside. I hear birds chirping. I hear water dripping, like waterfalls. And if that is the surrounding area, I'm adding all of these sounds to make your visual experience 10 times better. I'm picking the music that will just kind of flow in and out of, you know, the shots. I'm trying to storytell for you so you don't have to understand. Right when you walk in that house, you feel like you already know where everything is at. That's my job and that's my value, right? And again, I have set prices. If I want to say that I'm charging $700 for $1 million house, at the end of the day, again, it's your marketing. But did we help you sell the house? Probably. Does it say everything about you on how you market, how you value your clients? Even giving them this as like a, hey, this was your previous home. Here's a gift. Here's, so you can keep this as a memento, right? I've had clients say if I can just send them the video so they can see what their house looked like because they're moving, right? That same thing. Here's a token of my appreciation. Here's the video that we shot of your house. Enjoy it, right? This is what your house looked like. Good luck on your next purchase. There you go. Because they just put a lot of work into it. Yes, it's exciting when the house sells. But again, it's not just about the selling of the house. It's about your marketing, how you market yourself. Businesses, same thing. How much customer service or how much customers will you get to come in and to service off of this promotional video, right? Or other businesses where I've given the go ahead of like, okay, hey, can you show how we do things, how we process things, how we our step-by-step thing? And it was great. This is how you put a floor together. This is how you build a house. This is whatever the process is. This is how you brew beer, right? Whatever the process is, how much of that gets played into the types of customers that come into that business or the types of customers that use your business, right? You want the high-end one? Well, let's make a high-end video. You want just the normal one? Okay, well, let's just make a normal video because you're servicing a wide range of people with money. Yeah, everything comes back to cost and money. And again, finding your value to understand how much you should charge or how much you're not willing to budge, because one, I have to pay bills. Two, I have to feed my family. Three, I'm not worth just minimum wage because I have something to offer, right? That minimum wage thing is gaining experience. But once you're way past that, yes, I totally agree. Charge what you're worth. And if you're worth that much, don't budge on it, because again, at that point, people will start taking advantage of you, and then you're going to feel like you're working over and over and over and over again with no time off. And now this side hustle becomes something that you hate because you're working too much for pennies. And then you end up getting hustled on the side, and then you quit it because you're just so tired of it. Make sure that's not you. Again, it's okay to say no, and all money is not good money. This just lets me know that, hey, I'm not valued as much as their bottom line is, and that's totally fine with me. No sweat off my back. I'll still make my money elsewhere. But remember why you do it and why you love to do what you do in your side hustle, because soon this side hustle will eventually not be on the side anymore, and it's going to be at the forefront, and it's going to be everything that you've ever imagined. The time off that you can get to spend with your kids, to start a family, to go on those trips, every single thing that you worked for is going to be because you knew what you were worth, and that's what you charged, and you stood by it every single day in and day out, and you never faltered for anybody, because they don't say what you're worth. They don't place that value on you. You place that value on yourself. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. When you're talented and you don't know how to make money from it, that's when we consider ourselves starving artists, when we're just so talented. But on the other side of that is the business sense, the customer service, that skill that propels you to get the work. Now people trust you in order to hire you because it's been proven in your work. Your value is set because you have worked your tail off for the last several years, knowing the ins and outs of your business, to now go ahead and offer a lot more to your clients. And if they don't understand that value, then maybe they're not the right client for you. And there's plenty of people out there that are looking for your skill that need to hire you. You just haven't gotten in front of them yet. But I guarantee you keep grinding, you keep hustling, you'll be seen. You'll 100% will be seen. There's so many times where I feel like dance was my end all be all. I got to be that choreographer that travels and does. The greatest gift I got in dance were seeing these kids shine on that stage and getting a little letter saying, "Oh my gosh, you're my favorite teacher. I love dance because of you." That's exactly why I still do it. Because dance is it's no longer about me. It's about everybody else that I get to teach. Teaching at school, not about me. It's about reaching these students to be better, because again, I was in that position at one point. We never know our worth, while we're kids, and then we understand it way later. Hindsight is a mother, but it's such a great tool to pass on to the next generation. And this is exactly why we're like, don't do the same mistake that I've done. Why? Trust me. But again, instead of holding their hand while they're going through it, just let them go through it. And then hold their hand afterwards and say, this is how we're going to get through the next one that you're about to face. But I can't do it for you. My friend, my best friend, Bo, we always didn't see eye to eye at one point. And for 4 years, we were basically at each other's throats. And it took a long time for me to even just say like, hey, I forgive you. And we just went through, I was a knucklehead back then. I was 24 years old. I thought the world all revolved around me. And so my mindset was just me. And he was trying to show me everything that I'm trying to show these kids about their worth. And they just hate me for it because I push their buttons and I push them to be excellent. And at this point, they don't see that yet. And he said it best. He said, actually, I don't even know what he said. Let me look this up real quick, because it was such a good thing. And it's about like coaching and, being that, person in everybody's life that instead of walking, I don't want to paraphrase it, but where is it? He says, walk with them, but not for them. Let them struggle. Let these kids struggle. Because they're not going to understand how to accept that defeat if we are always walking for them. Again, walk with them. Just don't walk for them. Let them do it on their own. Let them figure it out, right? He says, tough-skinned adults understand grit, so give me someone with grit and wisdom and the scars to show for it, to run alongside with, not someone triggered easily with insignificant adversities. Let them understand that. Let them understand struggle. Because the people that make it in this world are the ones with grit. Here's the thing. As parents, we sometimes parent from a peaceful, this world is peaceful, we should just love everybody, right? And we're setting our kids up for failure because we're saying that this world is a peaceful world. It's not a peaceful world. I don't care what lens you're looking from. This is not a peaceful world. And so if you're raising your kids to be peaceful kids and then they get met with adversity, this is why they're starting to crumble. This is why they don't understand why the world is so hateful, is because we didn't do our due diligence to raise them enough to see that through a different lens. Can we raise our kids in a world where they're both peaceful but warriors? Yes. Yes, we can. But until we understand that as parents, to say, okay, I don't want to raise kids in this world. Well, why not? Because they're going to be the ones to take us to the next level. We might as well raise them with the standards and the morals and the upbringing that we see lead the nation later, instead of just cowards that kind of, cower along. And I know, cancel me. There's a whole bunch of things that go beyond this. I get it. But everything starts at home. Knowing your worth always starts at home. And I thank God that I had a mom who, showed me what true value is, and a family and some cousins and all my California family, everybody that surrounded me. I thank God for my community that shows me what value looks like, what worth looks like, so that all these sharks that are around me can't place a value on me and I'm just gonna cower and say, okay, well, I submit to that. No, you are much more valuable than they say. You are much more valuable than you think. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But again, sometimes the most talented are the laziest. Why? Because they feel like they can just show up and talent is going to take over. Give me someone hardworking over a talented individual. I will take that hard worker every single time. Every single time. Why? Because when talent doesn't work hard, hard work overcomes talent. Every single time. Every single time. Know your worth. Don't be hustled by anybody that doesn't see the value in you because it's not valuable to them. You will find the right people. It's totally okay. Again, not all money is good money. Some bridges aren't meant to be crossed again, and that's totally fine too. Understand your value. Understand what you're worth. And you're going to see it all the way through, and you're going to cross that next level of industry echelon to get to that spot where you have wanted to be for the longest time. And then years from now, you're going to be like, I remember when I was in that tight spot, this is exactly what I did. And you're going to pass that gem on to the next person who's doing where you were at that point, and they're just now going through it. Again, all of this is a teaching game. Having strong mentals. When you go back to fundamentals, you understand you're funding your mentals. It's the fundamentals of the game. Back to square one. Thanks for listening to me. Man, we're like half an hour in. Like, that was knowing your worth. Why am I so big on it? Because I just hate to be hustled on the side. Not when it comes to robbing me from feeding my kids all the time for pennies. Know your worth. You are worth it. God says that you are worth more than what you think. You are worth it. You are worthy. You just got to start believing in it. There's a pastor where he was like, everybody has faith. Everybody has faith. If you are fearful, you have faith. But your faith is just going in the opposite direction. It has to go towards the faith that everything is going to go right. You're just fearful. You have faith that everything is going to go wrong. And so here we are. You have total faith in yourself. Total faith that everything is going to go wrong. Yeah. You just got to go the other way. And so I talked about that in Discipline versus Regret, my very first video podcast. So this is episode 3. Know your worth, your value, your talent. Take a risk on yourself. Take that risk. No one else is going to take it for you. I always tell my kids all the time, and I'll leave you with this. I don't care about your feelings as much as you do. And I'll tell my kids that. I'll tell my dance kids that. I'll tell my school kids that. I don't care about your feelings as much as you do. Does that mean I don't care? No, I care. I just don't care about your feelings as much as you would, right? Just like you wouldn't care about my feelings as much as I do, because they're my feelings. If I feel a certain type of way for it, you can't care as much as I do, because you're not me. I can't care as much as you do because I'm not you. Do I care? Yes, I still care. Just not as much as you do. And that's where we get it wrong, is we feel like everybody should care just like us. But they don't. And so we get let down, right? Move on. Just move on. That's it. That is it. And it's easier said than done. It's harder to do while in the moment, because at that moment we feel like it should be totally different, right? But if you know your worth and you know what your value is set at, then don't falter. Not for anybody. Not even a homie hookup. Because we know where homie hookups get. And again, nickel and dime all the way through. If you're going to support anybody, support your friends. Pay full price. Don't nickel and dime your friends. Go find a coupon code and get 50% off at Nike. Like that's who you want to get a discount from. Don't discount your friends. Value them. Cherish them. They're your friends. They're talented, but they're your friends. That's all I got today. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm gonna release this later today. And hopefully y'all just rock with me. So enjoy your spouses, enjoy your partners, enjoy your boyfriends or girlfriends, enjoy all of that. Enjoy your kids, enjoy yourself if you're single. Just shower your mentals. That's it. Take care of yourself. Know your worth, know your value. I'm out. My name's Mark. If you didn't catch that already, thank you for tuning in to Side Hustle, the official podcast, and I'm out. Peace.